Alright, thanks for sticking around. If you're still here, we in the part 3 of this video. Still talking about unplugging from European lifestyles. Wow, it's interesting. It's interesting. I've seen like recently little videos. This one brother talking to what is this? What are we doing? I don't know. Who was talking to people and they're talking about how like Americans want to be like Europeans. I think he was like in England. Britain. I think he was in Britain. I don't know. Horrible attempt at an English accent. And I'm like thinking about it, like how crazy, how ironic it is that that people over there would think that Americans want to be like them, when reality is like they were the people that came over here and essentially not all in all, but they essentially were the ones that what's the word I'm looking for? Arguably, I'm gonna say they're the ones that conquered the Americas with assistance. But ultimately, when you look at the political influence, when you look at the overall political influence that England has here and around the world, even because Americans, we are very wrapped up in what's going on in America, and I don't know how many of you are familiar with the Commonwealth Games. The Commonwealth Games are the same thing as the Olympics. However, they are only inclusive of the countries that are a part of the Commonwealth organization, and that is a British thing. Commonwealth, the British Commonwealth. That is a British organization that countries join, but these are countries that are, we'll say, subjective to Britain. And like I said, that's, and we participate in the Olympics. That's the version that we participate in, but they're the same thing. It's competing. It's countries competing athletically. That's what it is. It's athletic competition between countries. But I just look at that as an example of the political influence. Now, although like on paper, America is independent of Britain, but in reality, we are still subjected to that land through policies. also known as politics. Understand that politics is policies, rules. That's what they all are, rules. You could call them laws. That's pretty much what we call them now, laws. But the English language is a language of double speaking. So you have all these words that you have words that have multiple meanings, and you have words that have individual meanings, but also mean the same thing as some other words as well. So a lot of words have. That's how you and that's why we have all these words that have multiple meanings. It is a language of confusion, a language of double speak, as we could say. That's two. I'm giving you two ways. You two not ways. Two terms. You can qualify, quantify. I'm not sure which one I want there. This language under. It's a double talking language. You can say one thing, you can say something, but depending on the meaning that that person you're talking to knows, it can mean something completely different than what they believe you're telling them. I hope that makes sense, because that even sounds a little bit confusing to me, but it's like if I'm telling you that something is green, but green has two different meanings. Like if it means the color of grass, and you can also say that the ocean is green, because it does look green in some places, depending on where you're at, what's going on with the minerals in the water of that area, it can look green. We do have a color called sea green, but it is not the same color as grass. So that's why I say, if I say it's green, what shade of green am I talking about? You don't know, because I only told you that it is green. What is green to me might look blue to you. It may look yellow to you. You see where you see where I'm going with this? Double meanings. The English language, the language that came from the Brits, from the Saxons. Some they were formally some they were formerly known as Saxons. That language is has double meanings in it, and so do other European languages. But yeah, we've got to unplug. So we've got to unplug. That's something that I encourage you to unplug from right there, is the English language. Yeah. Whoever your ancestors are, learn their language. If your ancestors were the Native American or American Indian, whatever you want to call it, indigenous people, learn their language. Become fluent in it. My people, they came from a whole nother continent. My ancestors, I may have some indigenous people in my bloodline. I don't know. I do not know that for sure. It's only been word of mouth. I don't have any receipts from either side of my family to prove that. I'm waiting for those. I'm trying to find them. I'm trying to work with some family members who have already done some research. I might be on my own on this. We will see. But I know for sure that I have ancestors that came through here from the colonial era on those boats. I'm 100% positive of that. I'm working on getting those receipts too. Where's that going? Yeah, I was talking about learning language. So for me, I'm learning a language from the continent. I'm learning a language that's spoken over there. Uh, that's not from there, and I'm learning a language that is spoken there and is native to there from Africa. That's why I said the continent, not a country. Um, that's what I'm doing. So let's get into talking about unplugging. That's one thing you can start with. It's simple. You might be like, why do I want to learn a new language? Where am I going to use it? You never know. Try it out among your people. I mean, really, that's the end goal to me. My end goal to learning these languages is to use this language among my people that speak it fluently. That way, I can communicate with them. Ultimately, if you, I mean, it talks about it literally well, the hint edit is in my description channel. We are relocating out of this country. So keep that in mind. That's my whole goal. I want to be able to relocate and what's the word? Submerge myself into the culture of my people and the neighboring cultures of where I will be moving to. My family will be moving to. So that's a start for you right there. Start with just learning a language of a place that you want to go to, at least. Even if you don't want to move there, a place that you want to go see that is outside of American territory. Outside of American territory. Outside of the continental United States. To include Alaska. Because I know technically they don't consider Alaska part of the continental United States. It's on the same landmass, okay? Same landmass. There's no, well, not that I'm aware of. As far as I know, there's no line. There's no separation, plate separation for Alaska. If there is a plate separation, then, why the heck do they even consider it part of North America? But it's part of North America. So since there's no plate separation, it's part of the continent. That makes it part of the continent. Therefore, it is still continental United States. So that's why I say non-continental United States. Learn the language of a place that you want to go to. Not just anywhere. You could do Spanish. I mean, I'm not saying that that's not worthwhile living in America, because to be honest, I'm gonna be real with you. In my last 30 seconds here, Spanish really should be a national language of America. When you really consider the amount of Spanish speakers that live here, have always lived here, even though their initial language was not Spanish. Spanish is named from Spain, so we know where the language came from. Let's not be retarded about that. See you in the next session of this.